You're talking about $1 million, I gotta have lunch. I'm not having lunch. You gotta make it 25 million. And he said, well, that sounds like a lot. I said, you got $2.5 billion in and he did it.
Donald Trump counting someone else's money, newly released audio obtained by the authors of the book 2024, How Trump Retook the White House and the Democrats Lost America, exposes Trump for pressuring a donor into donating more money than he intended to his presidential campaign. So, Cenk, there's more audio. We'll take a listen to that. But initial reaction to what you just heard?
Yeah, two things. One, it's illegal. I know, funny. Like, what are we gonna do about it? I'll tell you in a little bit why it's illegal, what he did. And number two, guys, look at this. It's an open auction. It's an open auction. So can I get $1 million, $5 million, $10 million, $25 million? Can I hear 25 million? Going once, going twice. They're just selling off the White House. They're selling off the government. And I say they, in this case, it's definitely Trump. And Trump does corruption on a spectacular scale. But all the other corrupt politicians are busy calling people, trying to get 50,000, 500,000, 5,000 at a time. Oh, please, please, donors, please, I'll do anything for you. So this is just a spectacular example of that. So again, in a second, I'll show you why it's illegal.
Okay, and so there's more to listen to. Let's play this.
$1.45 billion, most of it's, half of it's in cash. And he wants to have lunch with me, over $1 million,
Yes, sir.
He wants to have lunch. I said, $1 million is not a lot. You worth $5-6 billion. We got much richer than that. I said, you're poor compared to some. I said, you're worth $5 or $6 billion. You're talking about $1 million, I gotta have lunch. I'm not having lunch. You gotta make it 25 million. And he said, well, that sounds like a lot. I said, you got $2.5 billion in and he did it. He gave me $25 million. It's crazy.
So again, Trump's not alone in this, but he does seem to be a proud gold digger, if you will. He also claimed he pressured other donors to up their contributions. You have to have the courage to ask. You have to get them into the mindset, Donald Trump said. According to the book didn't reveal who the donor was, but if this story is true, it could be a campaign finance violation. Cenk, you were alluding to that. Caitlin Collins brought that up on her show yesterday while speaking with the authors of the book. And here's what co-author Josh Dawsey had to say.
Some people, Josh, might hear that and think, is that a campaign finance violation? Are we testing the boundaries of that? What stood out to you when you listened to that from a source?
Well, candidates aren't allowed to solicit directly that much money. But what really stood out to me on that was how audacious Trump had become as a fundraiser. He ran in 2016 saying, we're gonna drain the swamp. We're gonna take out special interest in money. He's behind closed doors and he's telling folks, some of his richest donors, who he's promising, them, if you get me elected, I'll make sure your taxes go down. I'll get these protesters and these campuses thrown out of the country. You need to be quote unquote generous. And he's telling them, what do you think generous means? Which is $25 million or more to have lunch with him. I don't know that we've ever seen a president, ask $25 million of any donor, of anyone, for lunch or any sort of event.
All right, so there you have it. Is it illegal? Seems pretty clear, but we'll see. Let's take a look at the campaign finance laws for the 2023-24 election cycle. And find it interesting, perhaps. As you see, we'll put them up on the screen there. In the last election cycle, candidate campaign committees were allowed to accept donations from individuals up to $3,300 per cycle, right? 2025-26 election cycle, it's gone up to $3,500, it's a $200 increase. Now, if a donor wants to spend a much larger amount, such as $25 million, they may give the money to a super PAC that advocates on behalf of a candidate, or they may spend the money themselves. A PAC, however, may not coordinate with the candidate, and candidates may not solicit such money. Now, the audio was released alongside the audio we played earlier in the show of Trump bragging about threatening to bomb Moscow if Russia invaded Ukraine. and making a similar threat to Chinese President Xi over Taiwan. But beyond the foreign policy audio, other audio also revealed Trump promising to take care of the pro-Palestinian protesters as long as fundraiser attendees got him elected. Wow.
Well, one thing I do is any student that protests, I throw them out of the country. You know, there are a lot of foreign students that are here.
The problem is that they will be the future leaders. They will be in the Senate, in the Congress, and running this country 15, 20 years from now.
Well, if you get me elected, then you should really be generous. If you get me elected, we're gonna set that movement back 25, 30 years. I'm telling you, I'll set it back.
We are with you.
I'll set it back.
Jank to the highest bidder. He's just a hired gun. I think the only thing that maybe I respect a little bit is he just says he says it out loud while other people try to dance around it and pretend that the money's not what motivates them.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing about Donald Trump. He's accidentally honest, and that gives him an air of authenticity because he has verbal diarrhea. So whatever pops into his head, he just says it right away without even thinking about it, right? Like, oh, I asked for a $25 million bribe. Oops. So, okay, so now let's talk about why I think it's an unmitigated bribe. So they glazed past it, right? Or grazed past it on CNN. Well, yeah, it's true. You can't ask for $25 million. It's illegal. But anyway, now it's amazing, blah, blah, blah. No, wait, hold on. So the way that the Supreme Court ruled in Citizens United and other cases is, hey, don't worry about it. This is not corruption. It is not bribery because the PACs, the super PACs, are totally independent of the candidates. Like for example, the candidates can't ask donors to give to the super PAC because then they'll be connected. And so then that when the donor gives an enormous amount of money, instead of the $3,500 limit, which is already a lot, they give $1 million, 10 million, 25 million. Well, then the Supreme Court has basically said that would be a bribe if the PAC and the candidate could work together and the candidate could ask for the money. Well, that's what that was. And so that's a bribe. But we got so used to it that nobody cares. They're like, oh, okay, yeah. A president asked for a $25 million bribe that is illegal even under this ludicrous system. I mean, this system, you could legally bribe people in 1,000 ways, right? And all of that is legal. He still found a way to do it illegally and on a spectacular scale, but we're also used to the corruption that we're like, oh, is that even wrong? A candidate asking for a $25 million bribe for his campaign in return for, I'm sure, what the donor wanted? They barely make note of it. So that's the decayed system that we have here. And I was amused by Trump saying though, in the middle there, like, you know, it's a little uncomfortable, but you get used to something along those lines about asking for the money. Donald Trump, you've had a lot of experience asking for free money. So I don't think you're uncomfortable with that at all. In fact, he was kind of born for this role. Yap, 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 just say how great you are, and then demand free money from people. It's got Donald Trump written all over it. I'm surprised it took him this long to get into politics. Actually, he did try to get into politics earlier as an independent, many times. Makes sense. Okay, if you actually want to help, fightcorruption.us, fightcorruption.us. We'll put the link in the description box below. That's the new website for Wolfpack. Get money out of politics, get money out, get money out. Otherwise, you're gonna have an endless string of Donald Trumps going, hey, did I ask this guy, give me $250 million. And you know what I'll do? I'll take $250 billion from the American taxpayers. You know what we call them? The suckers. And I'll take it from them and I'll just give it to you as long as you bribe me. I mean, that's kind of where we are right now. So this is not what democracy looks like.
Now, on the apathy, again, it's like, hey, this is our normal, this level of corruption. You have media companies being shaken down, and I didn't see a bunch of reporters, anchors, and production people. Nobody stormed out of the place. One or two people, a couple settlements ago left. They were about to retire anyway. But nobody's really up in arms about it. That's the real crux of this thing and what makes it just so horrific.
You know, Sharon, before we go, I just want to check in on the live chat here. The show's live 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern every day. So come here at 6, keep watching with us. We have fun every day. And so we asked, is Donald Trump significantly more corrupt than establishment politicians? The reason I paused is because I'm curious what you guys answered. Let's take a look. 84%. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's just about the right percentage. Like, yeah, he's significantly more. He's brazen. He doesn't just ask for 2 million, he asks for 25 million, right? And he doesn't even bother trying to pretend that it's legal. He's just like, give it to me, I don't care, right? At the same time, the establishment politicians do it in a more systematic, professional assembly line way. So they're kind of a factory of corruption. So you guys are right, they both suck and Trump is worse. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.